Hello and welcome to my channel Interior Reflections, the Self-Empowerment series. Today we are here with one of my favorite people in the world, Kat, one of my closest and dearest friends, founder of Free Souls United. We are going to be talking today about the power of breathwork and its role in helping us to manifest and draw in the things we want. Hello, Kat, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
What is the science behind breath work? Why is it significant? And how is it a very important component in attracting and manifesting the things that you want into your life?
We tend to think, the kind of baggage or the blocks we're carrying from the past, they live as this memory in our head. But modern science is increasingly showing that our trauma, and when I say trauma, that encompasses, so many things, not just the typical things we think of. But yeah, trauma, pain, and suppressed emotions, they live in our bodies as well as, in our subconscious minds. Our subconscious is actually, part of our body as well as our brain. So, what you're doing when you're breathing in these kinds of very specific, repetitive ways is that you are bypassing your conscious mind. Your conscious mind, which is kind of like the protector, which tells you, which stops you from going deeper sometimes, which tells you, no, let's distract you. Or like anyone who's tried meditation understands how that feels because your mind is just sometimes refuses to cooperate because it's scared that it's scared of feeling, essentially. It's scared of going deeper. But as I always say, what you resist persists. And similarly to that, what you can't heal what you don't feel. So that's where breath work and kind of working with our bodies is so important to actually this concept of manifesting the things that we want in our life, whether that be certain types of relationships or more expansive opportunities. It's not just about sitting there and clearing away the negative thoughts and visualizing something better. It's about actually feeling the feelings which are making us feel that this thing that I want, it's on some level a bit scary to me. It feels, as much as you might want something, it can feel kind of threatening sometimes because you don't have that sense of safety established in your nervous system. Your nervous system is telling you this thing you want, maybe it's a certain amount of money, or as I say, like a more expansive relationship. That feels unfamiliar and therefore it's threatening. And this is what causes us to self-sabotage in all the ways that we do. So really, by working with the body, we're establishing a sense of safety in our nervous systems. We're clearing away the stagnant and the heavy emotions which have been weighing us down and which really just want to be cleared out of us. We're not built to hold on to any kind of heavy emotions. This is what causes blockages in us. So yeah, there's a few ways that we can use breath work to essentially get us into that state where we are very magnetic, we are feeling grounded in ourselves, and we can therefore attract things with much more ease and much more flow.
I think for anyone who's ever experienced like symptoms of anxiety, it's very easy to get your head around the concept that the body does actually manifest symptoms very physically of our mental state. So that mind and body connection is really, really strong. So it makes a lot of sense that a lot of that trauma is in the body. I remember back in London, we would talk regularly almost every day. And I kind of bring to your attention this pattern that whenever you did a breathwork session, because I think at the time you were doing maybe Joe Dispenza's breathwork techniques, whenever you would have, whenever you do one of these sessions, very shortly after that, you'd get into some sort of flow state and come out with loads and loads of information. And I think I detected a pattern, and you were kind of like, oh yeah, this is, you know, this is really a thing. How instant are the results? How profound are the results? And what's that been like in your own life?
In terms of how I've applied it to my own life, you know, I did a breathwork session like a week ago, and you know, I started breathing, and what you'll find is it's always the hardest in the first few minutes of breathing, because again, the monkey mind takes over and you're like, I don't want to do this, I want to be doing something else. But you know, after that pass, I'm breathing, and suddenly I just felt this emotion wash over me, and I had some tears come, and I had, you know, a little cry. And I didn't need to lie there, I just kept breathing. I didn't need to lie there and analyze and think, okay, what is this about? What is this connected to? All I had to do was let it move through me, and just kind of let the resistance fall away. And afterwards, of course, as you know, everyone will say this, I felt so much lighter, I felt so much clearer.
Kat is a really amazing facilitator of breathwork sessions, and I've been really lucky to do one face to face with her. And that was kind of my first profound experience with breathwork. And it really made me a believer. It was the last time I was in Oslo, and we did a whole ceremony. And for me, Kat was kind of here to really support me, and you just have like a really soothing voice, and I felt so safe. And I had a lot of emotion come through, and just as you mentioned, it wasn't necessarily tied to anything particular, but I felt really, really light for days and days afterwards. And I think it was really funny because during that session, we kind of uncovered a theme for me, which was coming into my power. And very shortly after that, I kind of went on, you know, my journey to publish my book. And then after that, the launch happened, and all these things unfolded for me that were very directly connected to coming into my power and owning and putting out what I had done. You kind of as well sent me back to London with a very easy to apply breathwork technique, which I carried on forward. And I think that the one you gave me when I left actually really helped me to get into that numb state feeling of detachment very, very quickly. So even if you are someone who meditates and who enjoys meditating, breath work also helps you access that a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Because I used to like count from 120 back to 1 to kind of get that detached feeling. And with the techniques you introduced me to, it kind of happened a lot quicker. So that's been really, really useful. Between you and I and the work we've been in, they're very complementary to each other, because, and this is, our work is actually reflective of the conversations that we're constantly having with each other, which is that I'm talking about getting into a high flying state, and you're always talking about addressing beliefs, limiting beliefs, and not just addressing them consciously, but also accessing them subconsciously, as you've been talking about. And one of the things that happens, I think, through breath work is that you do actually bring up those limiting beliefs, and you get a chance to be faced with that in your reality. So if you're doing the breath work and your block has been, for example, let's say in a relationship, you're kind of stuck between, because you keep attracting the same sort of person. when you do the meditation, what will instantaneously almost happen is that this type of same person will pop up as kind of like a not a test in a sense, but yeah, your that limiting belief is being you're being faced with that in your reality.
Yeah.
And talk to me about the importance of beliefs and how that's a core principle in this you know process of manifesting what we want.
Yeah, I mean, our beliefs structure our reality. Um, Everything we experience really is connected to our beliefs about three things: our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about other people, and our beliefs about the world that we live in. And when we are in that process of changing our beliefs from, kind of negative, restrictive, disempowering beliefs to more expansive, positive, and supportive beliefs, you're going to feel an inner shift. But as I say, you're also going to experience an outer shift. So, for example, what you're describing is how you started to change the beliefs that you had about love and relationships, and to kind of to expand them and to make them more supportive of what you are wanting to draw into your life. And then what happens is you experienced certain types of people or certain types of scenario that were reflecting back to you those limiting beliefs. So the way that I see that is what's happening is you were doing the work on an inner level we can think about it as clearing, to clear what actually is not yours, what was picked up along the way and imprinted on you, but is not serving you and that does not need to be there. So you're clearing away those inner limiting beliefs, and then that is being reflected on the outside by you encountering someone who feels kind of like they're triggering you, or who's bringing up a sense of I don't know, who's making you feel insecure or whatever it may be.
And often, Kat, it's very specific.
Very specific.
Whatever you're trying to treat is actually you're immediately faced with that exact thing.
Yeah, and you might wonder, okay, well, does that mean I'm doing something wrong? Shouldn't I be getting, the kind of person I'm actually wanting, as opposed to this past, I guess, type of person that I was going after? But it's because you need to now clear on the outer level what you have started to clear on the inner level. So what that may look like is, not entertaining that type of person anymore, not going along with it, saying no to that person or to that type of opportunity, making a better, more aligned choice for yourself. So you also need to reflect the work that you're doing on the inner level through your actions. Otherwise, it's incomplete. We are physical beings. We can't just upgrade our beliefs but then continue to behave as normal. So that's how I see it. That's why, you do get this challenging or, triggering situation come up, because it's life saying, well, this is kind of the last part. You've done the inner work, which is, I think is the biggest part in it. But now the outer work is you saying, no, I won't be making the same kind of decisions or choices I was making before. I'm going to do this instead.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that is like, when people talk about law of attraction, it's like that is the action part that you're talking about. If you've stepped into a new empowered state, then you also have to act accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to move through the world as if you are that empowered person that you're seeking, and you need to kind of be brave enough to say no to the things that don't align with that empowered self, which is the action part of manifesting, which again is so often lost in these talks about law of attraction, where it's made to sound like you can literally just sit there and things will come to you. There is a component of acting the part and really stepping and centering yourself into that thing that you've asked for.
Yeah.
You've given us so much there, and actually, we touched upon the next episode we're going to do together, which is talking about intimate relationships and exploring soul connections versus the person that's good enough. My favorite topic ever, because it is such a mystery to us all. But before we finish up this episode, you've given us so much information there and so much to kind of process. I wondered if you could kind of, again, without giving too much away, talk about three main things about your course in terms of, you know, what people can expect to gain from it, and also maybe a hint at one or two of the most important aspects of attracting the things you want into your life. If you could, you know, looking at your own experience and that of mine, perhaps because we've been in the same work, what do you think are like the single two most important things you know, you can give people to take away that they can apply from today?
I think in terms of attracting the things you're wanting, if you boiled it down into two things, it's number one, believing that what you want is possible, it exists, you can have it, and number two, believing that what you want, that you deserve what you want. You are fully worthy of it, you are fully deserving of it. And I think it sounds so simple when you say it, but the tricky part is often, you know, it's on the subconscious level that we don't quite believe it's possible. You know, that doesn't happen for a person like me. It might happen for other people, but I can't have that thing. Or, you know, for whatever reason, I don't deserve this kind of life or this kind of love. And it can play out in such tricky, such subtle ways. Which is really what I'm going into in the courses on both love and money. I'll give you an example. So, you know, with money, there are so much of the advice and the kind of teachings you hear about are about just, you know, getting over your lack mentality and stepping into abundance. And I just found it all very generic. You know, it felt very much like, I don't know, it felt very surface level to me. And it's like you really just have to strip back the layers and see what it is that might be working against you. So, the example I can give is, for me, one of the particular blocks I had with money and with really feeling like, you know, I deserve to make good money and I deserve to make money in the way that I love, was that I was born into a poor country. I was born in Bosnia. My family fled from there when I was 5 years old because there was a war, and we came to Australia as refugees. And although I didn't grow up feeling deprived, I did, you know, come from this humble background, this, I guess, disadvantaged background. And so as an adult, you know, I had graduated law school, I had a great job, but I still felt very stuck with money. Like when I would get a paycheck, I would spend it all, or I'd spend most of it. I really found it hard to save. And one of the deeper reasons for that was because I had this subconscious association of wealth of wealth as being something that belongs to other people. It's not really something that's associated with my people, you know, people from my country or people of my backgrounds. You know, wealth is something that makes you out of touch, that makes you disconnected, makes you inauthentic, and so having, you know, little money, it makes you more kind of down to earth and grounded. And this was then fueling me to have bad money habits, like, you know, spending my money as soon as it hit my account. So it's just so subtle and multi-layered. And I discovered you know, a few other beliefs as well, which were causing me to not be able to step into my potential with money. And the same thing with love. There were so many beliefs which were not obvious to me at all, but which were actually operating on the background level and which were influencing the way that I showed up in the world and what I was getting back from life. So, really, I created these courses to help you access uncover the specific beliefs that are causing you to kind of operate in a more restrictive and less expansive way. And then I've incorporated this breathwork element to help you energetically and emotionally move through that and to really embody a new level of your being, so that you can attract in higher quality experiences, higher quality people, and the things that your soul is really wanting. We're here to I think physically manifest the things that our soul is wanting, and that is so specific and unique to all of us, to each of us, which is why I go into the different archetypes of love and money, and you can see which other archetypes or the kind of expressions and dimensions that you most resonate with, so that you can build your own personal vision of what it is that you want, and so that you can start drawing that into you.
I love that. Yeah. Your course is a really important tool to show people that actually it is the internal work that will yield the quickest results, as opposed to trying to control things in your external environment. And I really hope that people will get an opportunity to test it out for themselves, because it really is life-changing. And I think once you kind of grasp these tools, it is a lifelong thing that you have, and you're never again sort of going to go back. Once you know these things, you can't unlearn them. And I think we can both testify to the fact that our life has become super accelerated, and things are evolving really, really quickly. The lessons that we're supposed to be learning and integrating are happening at a really, really, fast pace, and it's sort of getting faster and faster, isn't it? So I'm really happy to have had that conversation with you, Kat. I loved how you broke it all down. We have so many conversations about this stuff, but even today I've heard you break it down in a way that I haven't heard before. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and that you will join us for our next episode, where we're going to get into the very fascinating topic of soul connections in intimate relationships, as opposed to the just good enough partner. Super touchy. Yeah.